Welcome back to Roadside Nuggets, folks. My name is Georgie Boy here with 5D Full Disclosure here this evening. Things are definitely heightening up. We were here 2 days ago with you guys and we shared a lot of information about things are definitely taking a turn, not for the worse, for the better. However, for your ego, it's going to seem like the worst shit you've ever been through in your life. It's going to seem like the worst things you've had to deal with. It's going to seem like all the problems that you felt you took care of already are coming back fully, in your face. And these are the moments where we have to really practice a lot of patience with ourselves and other people. There is an experience collectively going on, humanity. None of us are exempt from it. However, us and our individual experience, somehow we get lost in this thought process where we think our own experience is the only one going on and everything else is just kind of handle itself, which in a way is true, however, not without conscious awareness. And this is where we've been bypassing a lot of our own responsibility and accountability on this planet. As it states, 22nd, 2022, this month of February, there's going to be a massive Pluto Return. It hasn't happened for 246 years. In a lot of ways, definitely, this is a big kicker for the collective because we've lived, so many different generations through different, dysfunctions, belief systems, different, let's say, wanting to create a different future for ourselves, what America was supposed to be, what the other countries were, being at war with each other, fighting over oil and resources, all the money and different things, not to mention the hidden cabal tendencies of, destroying and tearing down libraries, going over to these other countries to hide the information and take down monuments and things that held codes and information that could actually restore the awareness back to humanity, right? We're not going to go deep in that today or tonight. However, just to state on that part, there's a lot of things we're not fully aware of. There's a lot of things that are kind of very far out there. It doesn't really do us much good in focusing on information that we cannot apply in the present moment. This is one of the biggest hijacks that humanity goes through constantly on a daily basis through constant thought loops, belief systems, attachments, projections, different fantasies, and delusions of grandeur that simply are not real in your present moment right now. Everybody is relative to that information and that energy. Everyone can resonate with that. There is an experience in your life right now currently that you can look at and say, yes, I resonate with that. That's me. Everybody has it. Okay? The ability to be accountable for it. This is where the ego tries to fight with a lot of stubbornness and pride and arrogance. Because ultimately, the admittance of it, the acceptance, the embracing of whatever it is, its truth, is the liberation from it. It's the freedom. It's the ability to release yourself from that and detach and evolve further with the experience, with that wisdom, with that information now encoded in you. Humanity is really prone to attachment, really prone to the physical linear experience where the things that are happening physically in front of us, that's really mostly what's real to most people. Nothing else really matters to them, and especially when we go into thoughts and emotions. Now we're talking about different places that humanity is actually scared to even go into. I know that because I was actually one of those people in the collective. It's been a long road in transforming that. But definitely there's that massive fear in the collective where you cannot embrace your own thoughts. You cannot embrace your own emotions. They don't belong to anybody else. They are yours. And until you take accountability for that, you don't really know what to do with it. And this is where most people want to spin out and they want to go to therapists and psychiatrists, psychologists. They want to go to pharmaceuticals. They want pills. They want, quick, instant gratification remedies to stem off, the uncomfortability, the anxiety, the stress, the thought loops, the different insanity spins that go on inside them, but they don't want to be accountable for it. They don't want to say, okay, this is my energy. These are my thoughts. These are my emotions. These are my intentions. These are my belief systems. These are my fear. You see, that's not the road we normally go down. We normally go down blame, projection. There's a problem. Something has to fix it externally outside of myself. What is it? And we've been taught and trained as a collective through generations to keep adopting external remedies to fix our problems, to fill our voids. instead of going internal and actually facing our truth and releasing ourselves from it, because it is all a lie. Everything is love. Everything is connected. Everything is oneness. Everything inside of you that says otherwise is the lie. And it's your responsibility to go inside yourself, layer by layer by layer, applying the same practices, the same disciplines, the same consistency of love, compassion, truth, forgiveness, letting go, and allow yourself to experience that through each layer, coming back into truth, coming back into love, coming back into wholeness and unconditional compassion and love for yourself, forgiveness, and letting go, right? It's something that we definitely all get hit with, whether through someone else's experiences or through the angels give us these little messages, but it is so true. Everything up to this point is necessary. You can vilify everything in your life. You can make everything a problem. You can make everything a dark issue. You can make everything the reason why your life isn't the way you want it to be, right? However, you cannot deny the simple, true fact that you are where you are right now today because of everything you have been through. And you would not be here today. You would not be in the experience you are. You would not be as you are now without everything that came before this moment. So to separate, to judge, to blame, to categorize, to box in certain things, to try to, put yourself at a distance from certain things in yourself and say, well, I'm going to measure, I'm going to compare, I'm going to weigh the scales a little bit. It's all you. It's all your pain, it's all your trauma, it's all your fears, it's all your anxiety and your thoughts. So at what point do you realize there is no measurement that applies to that? There is no amount of love you give to that. It's just all love. You give forgiveness to yourself. You give love to yourself. You give compassion, nurturing to yourself. We get stuck in this linear mode where we think we accomplish something, and then we want to get comfortable and stay stagnant. And like, oh yeah, I did that. Well, I'm going to live off that for another 20 years. I'm going to build an empire off of that for 20 years. Telling people the same shit over and over and over again, not realizing that in probably 20 years, the collective and you yourself, who's been saying this for 20 years over and over again, has probably evolved beyond that by that 20th year mark. But we're still spewing the same crap over and over and over again in a very linear, long-term, long drawn-out process, as if we want things to slowly fix itself. We want to slowly drag ourselves into 5D. We want to slowly return ourselves back to love. We want to slowly forgive all the pain in the world. What is that shit, right? What is that? Half-ass entitlement, princess programming, blame, projection, expectation, victimized consciousness, all kinds of different things that make us feel like we can wait, and it's somebody else's responsibility to step up and do that. We look at the condition of the world. Where has that mentality got us, humanity? Let's look at it. We doing well? Looks a little spicy to me. A lot of things going on, and things are not fully in alignment at all. However, this is the experience that we are in now that we need to get through. That's why we've manifested collectively. Everything going on from Canada, everything going on from the other countries across the sea, the different revolts and the pushback, the rebellions, volcanoes going off, earthquakes, things are moving, okay? This Pluto return coming back Pluto is that, it definitely is that planet of intimidation in a lot of ways, because the ego hates endings, right? And this is where we talk about endings, like what are endings? Endings are not bad. For you to have a beginning, there's got to be like a cutoff from the old energy. The old energy has to go through a transformation, a healing, a restoration, a rejuvenation process, coming back into alignment, into wholeness. And then it can be a new beginning for something else that was not before, right? So in order to get that, there has to be an ending. Everybody is spazzing out. Everyone's losing their caps over what's going on right now. It's like, is this not what we manifested? Is this not what we asked for 10 plus years, all the way back since 2012, for all this shit to finally end, for it to start breaking down, for all these things to start happening. And now that it's actually started happening, people are losing their freaking marbles. They're freaking out. Because the collective, even though the collective thought they were ready to wake up, the collective thought they knew everything, the collective thought they had everything lined up, T's crossed, dots lined, everything. They had it all. Now that it's actually really happening, they realize how much the collective is still attached to the old paradigm, to the old systems that have been going on. You can't wake up and still rely on the old system. And this is a choice the collective doesn't want to make consciously, with confidence and bravery and courage, because it means to your ego, you will go without. You will go without that constant reassurance of instant gratification that it can always be there with a press of a button. And you have to realize how to be grateful for things, how to appreciate things that may not be so instant, because you realize the amount of energy that it requires to actually bring that experience to you. And when you feel into that, when you realize how much is always going on in creation, always to bring you these beautiful things, you're going to be a lot less greedy with when it comes, how it comes, and how much you have of it. Because you're going to be much more heartful and sensitive to the whole. There's constantly emotion to even allow this experience for you individually, much less the whole collective working together to make sure everybody has the highest experience together. That's a big potato, right? Is humanity in alignment to step into those shoes? Hell no. Not ready. Getting there, that's the truth. We're not going to get there by enabling ourselves. We're not going to get there by being complacent, by feeding ourselves stories and fantasies and like eating candy and sugar the whole way there, pretending to smile and being superficial like we're just doing okay, and inside we're fucking crumbling. Where is that real rawness at, humanity? Right? Until you can actually be that transparent and real, when you can actually voice and express the amount of brokenness inside of where you are, how confused you are, how scattered you are, how you don't know what the fuck's going on, until you can even state that, you're not accountable. You're still prideful. You're still trying to prove a point. You're still trying to show off. You're still trying to create an external facade for other people to buy, but ultimately you're not benefiting from any of it, and you know that. This is when the heat starts to really get up there. It starts to cook the shit on the grill off. Everything has to get scraped away. Nothing left. The half-ass, oh, well, that's good enough. Well, that's fine. I'll get back to it tomorrow. No more. No more of this, okay? The process has to be anchored and mastered. We've gone through the spiritual, emotional, mental planes. The physical plane is now in commencement. It's happening now, which means you have to also practice the spiritual, mental, and emotional aspects of your embodiment all at once with your physical embodiment too. Yes, ascension is not a piece of cake. Ascension, ladies and gentlemen, is not a pamphlet you get handed to and you just get in line and get on something, like a ride, like a roller coaster. There are requirements, conscious awareness, understandings and intentions on your part that you have to make, knowing you are making them and why. And if you are nowhere near that, there's a lot of catching up to do. And the energy now that's picking up, and this is why probably my tone's raised, it's not, I'm not angry, I'm not mad at you. But this energy is very, very, very intense and is concentrated. If you didn't catch the wave from the first stream 2 days ago, this is now round 2. From February 1st all the way to the 22nd, it is going to kick off. You won't have to worry about the Super Bowl this weekend. It's going to get lively this whole month. It's going to be a massive Super Bowl this whole month for the country, for the world, for your life individually. Balls are going to be shooting across the field left and right, and you got to be moving your ass. If you're not drinking water, if you're not being grounded, if you're not getting yourself centered and focusing on what's going on, it's going to get dicey this month. Of course, this might scare the ego. Of course, this might intimidate the ego. Well, good. Because that probably means you've been half-assed. It's probably means you've been putting it off for so long. And then now the pressure's finally here. You're like, oh, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I'm feeling a little itchy. It's hot in here. Well, that's too bad because you probably should have moved it a little while ago, huh? So this is the tough love part. You didn't do anything wrong. You just created a more intense experience for you to get it faster. Get it? There's nothing wrong with where you are in your experience right now. Can you accept it, though? Can you be okay with that, though, and work through it? That's the point. If you're still trying to prove a point, if you're still trying to fight and grapple and wrestle with where you are and lie to yourself or other people, you're not going to fucking get out of there. Simple. So high time now, humanity. Especially everyone who's been following us for the last couple of years, the ones who have connected with mom, the ones who have had sessions, the ones who have been doing the work. I am telling you right now, this month is going to be serious. The rest of the collective is going to get this trickle down probably a couple months after this. It's going to be intense for everybody. Make no mistake. However, the full integration of that energy for the third waivers and the rest of that collective is probably going to take moments to trickle out and get actually integrated in. However, for the beings who are high vibrational, highly sensitive, highly perceptive, highly intuitive, highly conscious, highly vibrational, all of you beings, first and second waivers, get ready. Buckle the seatbelt, it's coming. This energy is going to keep climaxing and riding us up and up and up because these cycles that are now coming up to the surface had to break. There is no way you can make it to embodiment if you're still playing with old crap. I mean, these cycles have to break. The old behavioral patterns, the old thought systems, the old delusions and emotions, the triggers and the attachment, the old lies, the old fears, all of them have to break now in these moments for you to step into those big shoes. Right? That's why the title of the stream is Checkmate or Checks Paid. Right? We've gone through so many months since last year, August, even before the summertime, and we let you know these things were taking place. Everyone had moments to move through it. Everyone had moments to surrender, let go of the resistance, go through the process, make it as easy as possible, right? We're already here now. It's over. However, at this point now, this is the culmination of all the work you've done, okay? Everything is now coming to the surface for us finally to break these cycles and break through. Checkmate or checks paid? Did you check it? Did you pay it, right? Karma, responsibility, accountability, forgiveness, compassion, unconditional love, trust, letting things go, being vulnerable, expressing yourself, being authentic, standing in your truth, being courageous, bravery, commitment, trust in yourself and in God, trust in the unknown, faith, hope. Are you practicing these things? Do you know them for yourself? Because now we are in the moment now, angels, humanity, where these are all now being checked. You either paid this check, it's check paid, or it's a checkmate. And you are not clear to go forward until you pay that check. Go back through yourself, go back through the connections, go back through the traumas, go back through the blocks, and find where that check was not paid, and you pay it to yourself. Give it to yourself, the forgiveness, the love, compassion, every single thing you are in debt with, pay it up. Because we're not moving forward until it's paid. It is checkmate or checks paid, period. There's no middle ground, there's no middle fence for anyone on this planet going forward. And this is going to be the very painful lesson for the ego on this planet too, with the ego wanting what it wants, when it wants it, and control and all the justifications the ego has. It no longer matters. And there's no energy on this planet to fully support it anymore. It's gone. Therefore, we're going to experience the very painful breakdown of this energy and all the ego's control dramas, spazzing out, freaking out, fantasy, victim consciousness, projection and blame, wanting compensation for its suffering. All kinds of things are about to pop off. Just get ready for it. Wait for it. It's coming. For you, though, being in your center, being calm and present, drinking water, doing your daily practice and disciplines, going through your reflections on a daily process. Anything that comes up, let it go. Go through the process. Can you forgive it? Can you trust? Can you go back into faith? Can you give it back to unconditional love? Whatever you are stopped at, go through that process now. You have to show creation. You have to show yourself in real time right now. Witness yourself. Face the issue and then break through that and move forward. So, weird. Give me 1 second. I don't know what.
I'm glad you came in. Okay. Let's try adding salty.
Whew. All right. Anyway, so definitely just centering and being more present and being more focused on what we're working on is going to be highly important for everybody right now. Moving forward, there's a lot of things that are clearing. And this is an important thing to remember. We are in the physical anchoring part of the energy, meaning for it to anchor in physically, the physical impurities have to leave. Which means while we're going through this physical integration anchoring process, all the old physical things that no longer vibrationally match that have to come up, which means in our physical experience, they have to expose themselves. Which means they have to express and show themselves in different ways that they are energetically leaving, that they are energetically breaking down, that they are energetically losing control. That energy has to be portrayed to the collective in some way. In a lot of ways, it's portrayed through movies. It's portrayed through these different movements that are going on, like this Queen Romana in Canada. There's different movements through the collective consciousness that the collective is showing back. It no longer is willing to go forward the same paradigm as before. And as you start seeing the collective consciousness split up into these different dynamics, different personas, different personalities, different uniqueness, it's starting to show more and more that the collective is no longer unified in world enslavement, world domination, world conformity. We no longer submit to that anymore. Right? We have realized at this point, through our massive disempowerment of ourselves, that all of our dreams and wishes and the beautiful things that we wish to create in this world and give to each other are simply not possible with the people that we gave that power to. And it's a very painful lesson that we have all in this country of America and also across the world and other countries have had to learn through generations. There is no one that can save you, truly. There is no one that can truly fix all your problems in life. There is no one that you can appoint solely to take care of you and make everything in the sky brilliantly beautiful. And you have no problems the rest of your life, and you can live in peace. All simply for a vote. For appointing someone else to deal with all the problems so you can have a better life, a cushy, plushy life. The fear of how responsible and how accountable each and every single one of us actually are for creation, for this planet. And yes, the planet you are standing on or sitting, whichever action you're doing, this planet 100% solely is your responsibility and accountability to take care of. I know that's a long shot for a lot of you out there who don't have that big picture perspective. Simply cannot see yourself as being that big, but you are. This entire body, this entire planet, solely was placed in our protection. Humanity. And every single person 100% is accountable and responsible for what has happened on it. See, that takes things a little bit further. At first, people are intimidated with the magnitude of that power and that responsibility. Like, oh, well, I can't see myself as that. That's just like too big. That's too in the spot. Like, I don't know. But then when you start talking about, oh, and you're also, by the way, responsible for everything that's taking place on this planet, they're like, oh, no, like, I didn't do that. I wasn't there during that. I wasn't even around that. It's like, we start getting more separate. We start trying to, box in and box out and try to put ourselves in this little spot over here. Like, no, I'm not even near that stuff. That's not even me. You're on the planet, aren't you? There's one Earth, isn't there? There means everything is one. It doesn't matter if it happened on the opposite point of the planet of where you are, trajectory, like in the region, terrain, wherever you are. It doesn't matter. You are solely responsible for it, even if you didn't know it took place. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to grasp because we're like, well, we're human. We make mistakes. We fuck up all the time. I can't even get my own life into alignment and get it straight. So what do you mean I'm responsible for a planet now? Like, that's a lot. You're asking for a lot. It's like, actually, I'm not asking for a lot. It's already given to you. It's your birthright. You've been living your whole life in disempowerment and unworthiness. You don't even know what the hell you're worth. You don't know how great you are. You've been letting people tell you you're shit the whole time. You've been letting people make you grovel and scrape and beg your whole life. You don't know how worthy you are. You don't know how much creation is waiting for you to finally accept that worthiness so they can rain down nothing but blessings and abundance on you. But it means absolutely nothing if you don't get the point. If you don't learn the lesson that you are worthy. You don't get blessings and miracles by being unworthy, by being a victim, by being hateful and just in grief from your life that everything hurts you and everything is just worse. Is that going to rain down blessings on you? No. Being grateful for where you are, accepting what is happening as part of your manifestation, being responsible for what you have co-created with God on this planet, even with your own dysfunction at the same time. That is how you're going to free yourself and release it, right? Let me tell you something. This is how distant we get a lot of times. If you go anywhere and order food, right? You give them, they want to know your name. They want to know your number so they can call you, right? It's yours. You go take your car to go get fixed, right? They want your name. They want your number so they can let you know when your car's done right. It's yours. So what in the hell happens? Well, we just get so split in our consciousness and our perception that our energy, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, when we go to do them, when we act them out, when we push that energy out, it is yours. It is not somebody else's. See it the same way as if you dropped your car off, as you ordered food. All your energy is yours. It has your name on it. It has your phone number. When karma comes, it's not calling somebody else's phone. It's calling yours. When corrections come, when reflections come, when healing comes, it's not looking for somebody else's name. It's looking for you. It's your energy. And this amount of accountability and responsibility the collective's got to get in a lot of different ways in order to break through and move through to the next phase. We are not ascending blindly. We are not evolving and embodying our higher self unconsciously. It is full feeling, conscious awareness, perception, sensitivity, clarity, divine intelligence. So many things on that list. And if you're not doing any of those, you're not doing anything. There's no sorry I can give you. It's simply, we're in this space now. It seems harsh for some people. It seems a little intimidating and intense for some people. However, look at it in this way. Would you rather someone sit there and twirl your hair all day and whisper all the beautiful things and all the little fantasies and all you're so cute and all you're good, you just stay there and just be you, you just do you, you're just amazing, yeah. Or you want someone to actually be real with you? Point out all these different holes in your fantasy that are simply making you suffer in misery. But look, toss this out. Do without this. Flip this. Change this. Heal this. Let this go. Forgive this. Wouldn't you much rather have someone like that in your life? Yet we spend so much energy pushing those people away from us. We want the gratification. We want the complacency. We want the Kush, plush. We want this. Oh, just tell me. Yeah, just tell me. Yeah. And it doesn't help anybody. Because ultimately, 2 months away, still in the same place. 2 years from now, still in the same place. And I cannot tell you how painful and gritty it feels inside my being when I see people who just have not jumped in years. Like literally, and it used to happen, when I was still living in Texas for a while, even after I graduated high school and I moved away, literally that month after high school, I was like, gone. I'm out. I'm not staying here. I'm not doing it. And I would come back different moments. I would see people just never leave. People graduate high school and never leave the town. They would just hook up with the different people that they graduate with, have a bunch of kids, not really have anything going for their life, no dreams, no wishes, no sustenance to live off of. Just, they gave up. They gave up during high school. They graduated giving up on life. And that's where most people are in a lot of ways too. The children in the schools, the adolescents, the youth, the teenagers. All this collective dysfunctional pressure and bullshit pushing on them makes them give up so easily on things. They don't buy it. It's like they see how weak humanity is with their principles and their values and their morals, how quickly they'll say one thing and they'll do the opposite. And the children see this. And they realize very quickly early on, it's not worth their stress. It's not worth their investment. It's not worth their energy to invest in this bullshit of a paradigm if the people that are trying to tell them and teach them and coach them into it aren't even embodying it. They aren't even practicing it fully. They aren't even honoring it with integrity. So the children quickly pick up on this. The dysfunction and manipulation and lies and deceit and coyness is just part of this world. You see, I heard a lot growing up. I heard a lot of judgments and things coming from, and again, don't take this personally. If it shoe fits, lace it up, put it on, transform it. It's all good, right? However, there's definitely a big gap. And I'll share from both spectrums, just so we have equal balance and harmony with it too. Definitely growing up, there was a lot of projections and energies coming from the older class. Oh, you youth, you just think you know everything. You just have, you just go do whatever you want. You have no principles. You have no respect for your elders. You have no responsibility at all. It's like, we could go that far, but at the same time, who raised us? Who did we watch the entire time growing up? How to be human. And yet that blame and projection comes slamming back onto the youth so much to the point where it's just finding the youth at fault on their own. They didn't get that way just by themselves. They had a lot of examples. They had a lot of role models. They're not saying that they were all good. They had a lot of influences already set up by the time they came into this world. You see, once you bring the picture a little bit bigger, it's not so one and done. It's multidimensional. You got to go into it. Because there's a lot more things going on at play than just the superficial category. The little label people slap on and go on to the next thing because they have such a short attention span. They don't have time or patience to be respectful, integrity, and honor, and actually move through a process with anything, even an idea or a concept. It's sad. And then we'll flip it again. It's like, hey, you got to go back. I'm like, all right. So we'll flip back to the children too. And equally for the children as well, it's like this young, youthful fire, this rambunctiousness, like it doesn't want to be contained or controlled. And at the same time, it doesn't really have a lot of patience. That also is very true within the youth, and the adolescents and the teenagers. A lot of lack of patience, which, however highly divine and highest it is in these moments, so they don't get stuck in the programming, so they don't get stuck in the system, so they don't get reprogrammed like we did. They can break through the cycles faster. However, I'll stay here where we are. Now that they're coming into this, the lack of patience is definitely a trigger for the older class, for the older elders, the older generations of that wisdom who had the experience. That energy is definitely, you can see almost like a polar opposite of each other. calmer, slower, wiser, just like a lot of investment, energy, work and refinement. And then you have this freaking lighthouse of just inexhaustible energy, youthful creativity, just go, 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 go. Don't want control, don't want to be confined, don't put me here, don't tell me what to do, I just want to be this. And I was like, so you have literally two polar opposites on the spectrum on this planet. And those two are supposed to help each other balance out. But of course, in the dysfunction in the ego, we have what? Separation. We have the older class, we have the younger class, we have the middle class, we have all these different classes and categories and all these different people act differently. And they are just who they are, and they are just the way it is. And this is our world, this is our human society. And then now we have to figure out how to connect all these different unique groups together and make sure that we actually have a functioning society. So what the hell is going on? You see how insane that is? It absolutely insane. The fact that you would pile more dysfunction on top of dysfunction and try to say that it's a solution. It's impossible. Get it? These big things are coming full circle around for all of us. And again, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's not going to be everything everyone wants to see, hear, or feel, or experience. However, every single moment, every single experience that's coming your way is going to be a massive breakthrough for you. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter who you are on this planet, the breakthroughs are happening now. The cycle breaks are happening now. What you are going through in your experience right now, no matter how intense and crazy it seems internally or externally, it is a cycle that has been long overdue and has been ready to break for a while. You're just finally ready to admit it to yourself and accept it. That's the difference. Truth will always be truth. Truth will be truth for 20 years. But when you're ready to accept that truth, that's the difference. Right? And that's where we are. The truth has always been the truth. It never changed. We are the ones that keep changing back into the truth because we split so far away from it. So it's actually us recalibrating back into love. It is us re-referencing ourselves back into conscious awareness from unconsciousness. We are doing the work. We are being responsible and accountable because we are the ones who have stepped away from love. Love never stepped away from us. And this is why in this experience it's so important for us to actually consciously, mentally, and emotionally and physically get it and spiritually get it. That you have to understand that you are responsible and accountable for your energy. Because this is so multidimensional beyond just that fact. That humanity split from love. Love didn't split from humanity. So, if you're going through your healing as a human being, there is nothing you can pin on God. There's nothing you can pin on love. There's nothing you can pin on anybody else outside of yourself. Because we understand already at the core truth, we as humanity stepped away from love. We made that action, choice. We are the ones returning. We are the ones forgiving ourselves. We are the ones surrendering. That's a very big difference from being compensated. You see, that's a big difference. The ego wants to take you down the path where we're like, oh, well, I've been through this and that, and someone should just tell me how amazing I am and how powerful, just like how much of a strong person I am. I'm just so courageous and it's just mushy. It's crap, right? All of this is a pit. It's a deep black hole. Don't even go there with it, right? Because I'll tell you right now, if you get held up on a one part of that, like just wanting that much like compensation for that, do you know how many levels and layers of forgiveness, compassion, peace, letting things go, grace, divine intelligence, divine, just like patience, you're going to have to go through? And if you want a freaking Oscar award for every single layer you go through, it's going to be a long journey for you. It's not worth it. It never was worth it. Be grateful with just the awareness, with just the freedom, with the feeling of release from the pain, from the weight, from the burden, from the stinging frequencies inside your body that make you feel miserable. Be grateful not to feel that anymore when you finally release it. Right? The greediness, we just want the physical manifestation. We want all these things now. It's like, you look at the world, can you be happy now in this world? If you were given everything, you won the lottery, you got the island, you got a plane, you got a boat, you got all these different things, and you were actually on that island living the life, how long before you actually realize that you're not actually happy? And I guarantee you, you won't even make it a month. Because this is the funny thing. People think that they can reach happiness that way, right? The funny thing is, once you reach the heights of your projection, that serotonin, that dopamine, all that ecstasy, the bliss and everything starts to wear off very fast. And then you start slumping down, because once you've been brought to such a high ecstasy, a high bliss, you have to be able to sustain it, right? How are you going to sustain a high bliss, high ecstasy, high unconditional love, high joy level on a planet that is completely suppressed and plummeted in dysfunction and darkness? It's not possible. This is what the individual ego wants you to project, that it can be possible through your own intentions, and you can create your own world, your own bubble, separate from the world suffering, and you can be happy even though the world is not. What is that? And I feel like I just put in words a lot, for you all, what a lot of you had like different feelings and emotions about. I feel like I just put it actually in words for you to understand what you're actually feeling. Because that's what it is. It's this deep selfishness, this greed, this self-preservation. Looking out for yourself, the self-righteousness energy where you just think you're owed something at this point. You think you've been through so much, you feel like you sacrificed so much, you feel like you've given up so much, that you feel like you just owed something at this point. You're just going to take it. You're just going to make a choice. You're going to decide. You're going to power over life and get what you want because you're tired of waiting for it. Deep energies, right? And again, all of this is okay. It doesn't matter how deep we go into the energies. It doesn't matter how many frequencies we bring up or what's going on right now. All of it, reheart yourself, is okay. Because if you can't have compassion for yourself, if you can't have forgiveness for yourself and nurturing and unconditional love for yourself, did you know all of this in the beginning? When you were born into this world, were you handed a pamphlet, a manual with everything on it? When you graduated 10th grade, were you made aware of all of this? When you graduated high school, did you know everything that you know now? So to hold the chip against yourself constantly, to constantly keep beating yourself down, to keep diminishing yourself, fighting these little internal wars with yourself over arguments and points made and what you did and what you can't go back and change, is utterly stupid. Pointless and stupid. You are making yourself so much worse and miserable by dragging yourself back down that alley of pain that you already know what's going to feel like. But for some reason, you can't make it to forgiveness. So the only thing you know how to show yourself is hatred. So that's all you're going to allow in your experience is hatred, pain and suffering, fear, intimidation, anxiety and stress, panic and paranoia. This is all you will allow yourself to experience if you cannot surrender to forgiveness. It is the only thing that's going to let this energy release and flow out. And this is where humanity gets trapped in their own control dramas and, problems that they create for themselves a lot of times because they don't want to surrender. However, they still expect the problem to fix itself. What is that? It's a massive contradiction. You're a hypocrite, right? You can't have that and do that at the same time. As you choose. Make a choice. Heal or stay there. That's it. And humanity constantly feels through instant gratification, this programming in life, that they are allowed endless amounts of chances. They are allowed varieties and choices and all these in-between lanes, in between the truth. It's like, no, it's out. It's gone. It's dissolved. It's over. Right? We have moved to a higher plane now where all these energies that we have been skimming by on, that's allowed the ego to exist in this reality, has now been squeezed to a very fine point. This month, it's going to be a massive awareness kicker for everybody. I'm talking spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. You're going to show that you can practice it. You're going to have to show that you can embody it, that you can choose that in the moment, when normally you would choose a lower. Because if you cannot do that at this point, you have not broken the cycle. You have not matured enough to the point where you realize love is more important. That forgiveness and compassion and nurturing and letting things go and breaking the cycle is way more important and way beyond you. And it's for the collective, it's for humanity to heal and move forward. If you cannot get out of yourself, the cycle will continue. And it will get more and more and more intense until you realize it is no longer worth your energy. Confirm. It's no longer worth your thoughts, your emotions, or your physical stress you go through. Draining yourself every day over it, instead of just letting it go and forgiving yourself and forgiving others. There is trillions upon trillions of energies on this planet that need to be transformed and healed and moved on. If we keep getting stuck on each and every single frequency, it's going to be a long journey. And I know nobody on this planet wants that. That's why God was here, to speed us up, to boost us to a whole nother level, right? The energetic work that she already did it's done. All you got to do is surrender, accept, embrace, allow, move through it, show that you can do it. God did all the work for you, but God's not going to bring you to heaven for you either. It's like, what are you, like a little chihuahua in a puppy basket? Get your balls. Stand on your own 2 feet. Use your voice. Show your heart. Bear it for everyone to see. Express yourself. Who are you? Are you a part of God or not? You just a puppet? You sitting in the corner quietly? What are you doing with your experience? The energy flowing through you from God, is it worth it? Are you a worthy of creation of God? It should be, because you're still here. God sees fit. God deems you worthy. So where is that reflection back from you? God says you're worthy. You're like, no, I'm a piece of shit, so I'm not going to do nothing. You see that? Quit blaming God, life, and creation for your issues. Start looking at yourself. Be accountable and responsible for what you are choosing to do in every moment. Your thoughts, your emotions, how complacent you are, how unwilling you are to grab your energy and be in alignment and centered with it. Everything feeds into your life. The focus, the matter, the concern behind it, it's all up to you. The more you give to it, the stronger the response will be. The more integrity, the more respect, the more honor, the more actual focus you give your energy in your life, it actually starts to magnify. It starts to heighten and climax more and more and more. You will experience higher levels of divinity when you choose it for yourself and you give it. That's the key. It's not happening to you. Divinity, heaven, 5D ascension, new earth coming, it's not happening to you. It's happening because of the choices you are making. And it will only happen from the choices we are making as a collective whole. Okay? Big talent for y'all. So, just give everybody a break. I'm going to jump to cards. We got a few moments left. So, we're going to do quick cards for everybody. We're going to do a collective. And then we're going to do a card pull for somebody who gets the lucky number. So, I'm going to go over here. Let's see. Angels 1 through 100. All right. Got my number 1 through 100. It's written down. Folks who are new, if you're on Facebook or Telegram or YouTube, doesn't matter. Just post in the comment box what number it is. It's 1 through 100. Feel into your heart and see if you can feel into, not really guess, but, feel, perceive or intuitively get through what number it is. And it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Nobody's wrong. Just put the number in. This is practice. Like if you've never done it before, or if you're scared to do it, it's kind of hard to be a pro at it. It's kind of hard to be a master. It's kind of hard to have fun while you're doing it, because the whole time you're like freaking out about it, right? So the more you do it, the more used to it you get, and the more you get out of that other funky stuff, and then you start getting the groove of it, right? You got to get out of the fear. You got to get out of the intimidation from other people. I don't want them to see my number, because if I'm wrong or I'm way off, they're going to think I'm like, I ain't got nothing. Like all of it, we've been there. We've been through the process. We've transformed that. We're all moving through it, okay? So everybody has the ability. Everyone can tap in. Everybody has angels. It just depends on where your trust, your belief systems are, how much you're vulnerable, how much you're open, how much you're going to express, all kinds of different things, right? We're all in a different place. We just accept where we are. We're okay with it, and we're all learning to be better masters of love. No one is there yet. Everyone is far off from being there, wherever there is. So don't worry about it, right? It's not a race. It's not a competition. We are all unique and different and organic, and we're just moving through the sauce, okay? As long as we stick together and do it together, we can have a grander experience than everyone else that's like thinks they got it all together, right? So trust yourself. I love you. All right, let's go ahead and start with the collective card pulling with... This is a new deck we got. It's called Gateway of Light Activation. Oracle card deck. So, interesting. Let's see what we get for the collective off of this one. Oh, yes, YouTube. Oh, and that one went out. That one's gone. Oh, well. We just surrender. Oh, and people in Telegram, I know Telegram's a little funky and weird to play around with. If you go back to the chat room you were in earlier, where it says join as a listener, there's a comment box underneath there, or there's a comment box underneath the post I made earlier. Either one, you can put your number that you want in there. I'm going to go back through them and check them all to make sure I get everybody. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, interesting. Okay. And we're going to get Beyond Lemuria. Beautiful gift that was given to us by Claudia. She sent us a gift. And I really, really like these cards. You don't have to look at the book. They're really like the pictures are on the front and the information is on the back of the card. So it's like a little like smaller pocket edition of Beyond Lemuria, but it's badass. Thank you, Claudia, for this. It makes it so much easier to do the readings too. So, let's see. All right, let's see. Ooh. Interesting codes coming through. And last but not least, then we have our Sassy Oracle Unicorn cards. Never fail in delivering a very funny, comical truth that we all need to hear. So, let's see what they have to share. All right. Mm-hmm. All right, last card pull. Oh, we got two of them. Coolio. All right, let's start off with the Sassy Unicorn cards. So the first one is, don't believe every shitty thought you have. So in alignment with what we just talked about. The back of the card says, thoughts can be sneaky, lying bastards. And it's so true. Got to be shielded, got to be grounded, especially if you're in a lot of thought, if you're having too much thought. Drink water, make sure you're getting your butt outside, feet on the ground, and you're grounding, right? If you're not doing these simple things that don't cost you money, anything of yourself just to go do it for a couple minutes, you really don't care about how you're suffering. You really don't care about how bad you're doing. You really, if you're complaining, if you're one of those people that complain, you literally just crying wolf. Because the simple things you could do in a day, and this might sound mean to your ego, but listen, hear me out, it's real. You can walk yourself out that door for 5 minutes, put your bare feet on the ground, get out of the whole bug issue, spiders and this and this. Get over it, right? Put your bare feet on the ground for 5 minutes and feel that earth that you are created from, showing gratitude to your Mother Earth, that you are walking around breathing your oxygen from. If you cannot do that, go sit outside in the sun for 5 minutes. Go outside and breathe fresh air for 5 minutes. You really do not give a fuck about how you're doing. All the crying and whining, confusion, don't know what you're doing, bullshit. That is the truth. Because you have all these amenities all around you, all these natural resources, completely limitless, 24/7, every single day. And we still want to cry and complain about what we can't buy, what we don't have, what we want, what we need more of. It's like, are you using what's already given to you? What's already in abundance? What's already prosperous around you? Endless energy from the sun, from the water, from the land, from the trees. And you're crying because you can't figure things out, because you're spinning. You can't get in your body. You can't feel. You can't process. You can't get out of this funk you're in, but you're not utilizing what's around you. Don't we use everything else when we want to in ego? Sex, money, drugs, TV, bed, sleep, food, everything. We use that without a problem. Why can we not use what's in alignment with love to help us heal and come back into alignment with? See? The same amount of energy you will use to sabotage and hijack yourself with can easily be the same amount of energy you heal yourself with. And it's less exhausting. It's always a choice though, and it's up to you. All right, so the second card is Detox. So it says, drink a smoothie, unfriend that asshole, and throw some shit out. Again, another synchronicity. Stop playing with the bullshit, right? Make the choice. Detox. Drink a smoothie, which you don't have to drink a smoothie. Do something healthier, something different, but unfriend that asshole and throw that old shit out, right? You can't have anything new. There's no beginnings and there's no fresh starts if we have old unfinished things. If we have old loose ends. If we have unfinished processes, there is no beginning. You're just basically going to continue the same dysfunction forward, trying to create a different persona. Oh, it's new this time. It's a different color. It's a different setting. It's a different environment. But it's the same shit. Right? You got to get into your intentions of what you're doing. Stop lying to yourself. Stop trying to speed past everything. And be okay with where you are and just work through that. And it's going to feel a lot more empowering and better for you in the long run. All right. And then we have the Beyond Lemuria card. So it is the Ether card. The seamless unspeakable. The illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the centered and present place where all dreams are birthed. From here, you can choose where to go. What may be perceived as endless nothingness is the illuminated eternal, the core that all fears may be peeled back into. Step through the darkness and realize it is only a short distance from the white void at the center of creation. Herein lies the feeling you may have been striving to meet, yet subconsciously running from. In graceful surrender, know you are held and drop deeper into existence. And I feel this is important to just kind of re-clarify this because a lot of words, but basically it's in letting go and just choosing to trust. You are a part of everything. Choosing to trust that nothing is coming against you to cause harm. And everything is a lesson. Everything is a level up. Everything is for your evolution. And if you can maintain that conscious mentality and not go into the fear or the victim where it's like these things are happening to you, then you can definitely stay more stable and experience the higher magic of everything. It is freeing. It is liberating. It is evolving. It is expanding. The more and more you let go of control and wanting it to be a certain way, it can show you what it truly is. And that's the magic in everything, okay? All right, and then the last card we have is from the new Gateway of Light Activation Oracle deck. And it is the Arcturian Light Codes. Evolutionary downloads, recalling power, and future. It says thinking, but we're going to say future feeling, right? We always remain present moment, but we also hold space for the highest timeline, what we wish to envision, what we wish to dream and wish into creation to manifest for all of us. That is what we hold space for, and that's what, in the same context we was talking about the future, what is not present moment here, we hold space for so it can come, right? And that's a better way to explain the future and help people let go more of like trying to go to this far off place we're not there yet. We're always present. We will never not be present, okay? However, when regards to the future, how we even deal with those kinds of thoughts or how we live with that part of our life, we hold space for it. We don't plan, we don't project onto the future that it's going to be this way, it's going to happen on this date and this time. All we do is we hold space for the highest timeline, our wishes, our dreams, our highest, feelings, what we wish to manifest in that, and we let it go. And we trust that whatever does manifest will be the highest. And it will be combined of all of our collective desires and truths and wishes and dreams, right? We let it go. The planning, the control, the trying to force things in life and creation no longer works. It's done. And we are learning to move more with the flow now, with the divine feminine flow on this planet, and just be. Everything simply is because it is. There's no reason or purpose for it. It doesn't have to be a reason for it. It just simply is. Because it's love and it's creation. Right? We're restoring ourselves back to this pure truth. All right, let's get to the numbers real quick and see where we are. With that, hi everybody, I love you. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Lots of people on Telegram, people on Facebook and YouTube. Love you. It's actually a pretty cool time. I might go later now. It seems like a lot of people are available at this time of the evening. But I forget we're on Eastern time, so the western part of the country is, what is it, like 5 o'clock now or something like that? It's probably probably still pretty early in the evening or night. Anyways, moving forward. Let's look at comments real quick. Yes, we no longer want to be part of the devil government. No devil government at all. Sparta. Sickness, we the gas station and the fish. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Like some of the comments that you say, like they sound like a little, they sound in alignment, and then it's like there's some things you said, like I'm not sure where you're at, but I get it. It's wonky right now. There's a lot of cycles breaking, and with that, our thought process is all over the place, especially for some people who are very much in the mind. It's probably looking like a total apocalypse right now in your head because things are blowing up. They're freaking just crumbling, falling apart, and there's where your thoughts and your reassurance and your predictions and expectations were riding on, now it's starting to fall through, and you don't have any kind of mental, placement to put it at now because you solely have thrived off of your mind. You have depended solely off of your brain intelligence the entire time that you've bypassed your body intelligence. The ability to feel, your sensitivity, your emotions. What else is going on inside your body? You sold yourself solely for the mind and you shut everything off. You made it numb. Now that the volume is getting turned back up, now we are starting to feel sensitive. Now we're starting to have lots of thoughts. Now we're starting to feel emotions. Now we're starting to have eruptions and just an outbursts and reactions out of nowhere, and we don't even know why. Because it's been piling up for years and years and years, and even though you weren't aware of it, it didn't mean it wasn't happening. It didn't mean it wasn't still occurring inside your body. And now that the collective consciousness has now changed to this point, it's almost like a light switch in a room that's been turned off for a long while. That light's going to be bright. You're going to squint your eyes. It's going to kind of be like, ooh, man, that light's bright. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable for a whole minute for this planet. Because things are getting turned on, baby, and the ego does not like it. It wants to stay in the dark. It wants things to be turned off. It doesn't want the attention. It doesn't want the spotlight. Don't look at me. Don't see what I'm doing, right? And it's over. That light's coming in so fast and it's blasting everything away, and we're freeing ourselves, right? Just got to keep rolling with the process. Alrighty then. Let's see how we're doing on the numbers. Let's start with Facebook first. You're very welcome, Linda. Love you all. Love you, Casey. Love you, Taryn. Love all of you beautiful divine folks. As far as numbers go, so we got. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look at my number. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Y'all are like catching up fast. And this is what I'm telling y'all. The more you practice, the more you just trust and just kind of go with it, you would be surprised how close you get, if not on the mark you get, just by trusting. Just like, you know what? I'm not a pro. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to participate. You'd be surprised what you get. I'm telling you, divinity is so spontaneous and magical. You can't predict it. It's amazing, right? So, just to show you all how amazing you are, just to let you show. All right, so go back to the notebook. All right. Dun 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 dun. All these old numbers I have on this notebook. It's funny. So the number is... Oh, wait. Where's my little drum thing? Boom. It is 81. So, for all you folks, let's look at the numbers. And again, this is going to test you. Don't compare. Don't measure. Don't count how many numbers you were off. Because all that doesn't really mean anything. It literally means absolutely nothing at all. If you're going to be like, oh, well, I was 8 digits off, so that means I just have to work that much closer. Now you made it a linear thing. You made it calculative. You made it analyzing. You tried to dissect things. Literally everything can change in a moment, right? All you have to do is like get out of distrust. Trust yourself more. Have a little bit more faith. Boom, you could get it right on the dot. It does not have anything to do with numbers. It has nothing to do with adding and subtracting or doing a manual thing to push you a percentage up. All of that, dysfunction, fantasy, crap. It's not real, right? So one of the reasons why we stopped doing numbers so long ago is because it kept getting pulled back in this linear process of like, oh, if I'm at 81, then if I do some right action, I should be at 82. No. It's based off your vibration, your consciousness. You could do right action for 3 hours and do it in intimidation, in fear, in panic, in control. And it still wouldn't get you any higher. Why? Because you didn't do it in love. So it didn't matter what you did for those 3 hours. You just wasted energy. You see, everything's multidimensional. You cannot get stuck in this linear process where you're trying to micromanage and trying to track yourself. It doesn't work that way. You are shooting all over the place, and all you need to focus on is the higher. And it's all you'll be is the higher, right? Stop spinning yourself out over all the different things. All right, so 81 is the number. Let's go through that. Let's see where everybody's at. Okay. Coolio on Facebook. We got 43, 62, 63, 60. A lot of 60s in that one. And let's see. We'll go back here. And on Telegram, what do we got, angels? Come on, phony. Oh, come on, phone. You're a little slow. I think I might actually erase this phone completely back to square zero. It's like not really... it's moving like an old phone. Huh? I deleted them all. It could be pictures or something. We got 13. We got 43, 11, 43 again. We got 86. Oh, snap. Jenny Smith. Jenny Smith's very close. I feel she's the closest one, folks. And then we're going to check YouTube real quick and see. And we got another 68, 33, and 13. A lot of 60s. And like those are pretty much closer to 80. 70. And so like I said, like just kind of like seeing where you are in the numbers, like, just it might just be a little thing. competition, trying to prove yourself, or trying to not think that you're gonna get it. The doubt, the disbelief, the distrust in yourself, the lack of faith in yourself that you could get it if you just had more faith, but since you don't, you're right there, right underneath it. You're like 10 numbers behind. But the moment you you know what? I'm gonna believe in myself a little bit more. Boom, you might just get it, right? It has nothing to do with adding 8 number digits, 8 more digits. It has nothing to do with that. Just being more divinity always will put you in a higher, more divine place. Okay? Just accept that. That's the best multidimensional thing I can show you. Just being more divinity will always put you in more of a higher place, period. In your experience all around. So, I feel... I'm pretty sure... Make sure. Pretty sure Jenny's the one that won that one. 13. We should go all the way through. Yep. All right, Jenny Smith, beautiful. You are the winner for the card pull, love. Great job. Beautiful work. All right. Let's see. So you're going to pull some cards for you real quick, love. If you have any questions or anything like that, please put it in the chat. I'll look at it in a moment. I'm going to do the Gateway of Light activation card for everybody. And this is good information for everybody. Just because Jenny won the card pulling doesn't mean everyone doesn't have to listen, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it is resonant information for everybody in some way, some shape or form. It can, touch base or connect with you in your life experience, what your traumas, your issues, your wounds are, or just something that you need to probably work a little bit better at. Everyone is improving, evolving. No one's above anyone, so definitely, ears open, feel into it, and just listen, receive, right? Jenny's taking the brunt force of it for everybody, so grateful for Jenny. All right, let's see this card. Got this one. Moving over to the Sassy Unicorn cards. Let's see what they've got for us. All right. Always sassy, but always true. All right. Ooh. Interesting. All right, and last but not least, we got our Beyond Lemuria beautiful cards from our beautiful love sister, Claudia. And let's see what it's gonna be. Beautiful. Let's start with this card. So it is the Water card. So this is from Beyond Lemuria. And it says, water, the overflow. The being in this picture has many hands, and yet water falls through her fingers. It blesses her in the moments it touches her radiant skin and continues on its journey. Her heart also is overflowing with love. Her eyes are filled with tears. She gracefully allows what comes through to move her without control. Aligned with purpose, she is overjoyed to give from this limitless place, and she radiates so much light into the world. Give more from a place of overflow than obligation. Ooh, I'll say that one more time for everybody. Give more from a place of overflow than obligation. Even when we think we have nothing to give, coming from a heart of overflow creates more of what we want. It's important. Pour into your heart. Our hearts are always connected to Prime Source, to God, right? As long as your heart is always connected to God, you are always filled with limitless energy. Prime Source, universal energy for creation. It's continuous. It never runs out, right? When you can't access that, you are not open to God. You are not open to your angels. You are not open to your higher self and creation. You are cutting yourself off. And that's why you can't access that. Everybody on this planet has that birthright. Everyone has access to that energy. If they choose to be in the heart, if they choose to be the divine being they're born in this world as, to be love, they will open up that portal and access her energy, but not from the lower. The ego can't access it. It's devoid of love. So going for this Sassy unicorn cards that we have. So this one says, stop obsessing. You are not the fucking center of the universe. And again, this isn't just for Jenny. This is for everybody. And they're a little sassy, but they're funny, comedy-filled, but also helps get the point across. Stop being so serious. Stop being so attaching, controlling of things. Let it go. Be more relaxed. Be flexible, right? Talking to myself, I've definitely had to come a long way with that and get better at it. Every single day I work on it like you guys, okay? We're not pros at it. We're doing it every day, becoming more masters. But the fact that we choose that, it means big things for creation, okay? And that's all the respect and honor to give you all. So, again, stop obsessing. You are not the fucking center of the universe, okay? Get out of your way. Get out of love's way. Get out of creation's way. Watch what happens. Watch what plays out. Watch what flows in. Without your control, without you interjecting, without you thinking you know better, without you trying to get ahead of things because you don't trust. Just watch what happens out of love and see yourself be amazed, okay? All right, and then we got our last card from the Galactic of Light Activation, and that is Sacred Inner Space. Sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality. Beautiful. And that's an important topic too. Definitely, I've been working on that for myself, my own personal transformations and healings, is the sensuality part. You know, and I feel definitely it's a big part. We'll probably get to that probably in a while, later live streams, you know, but definitely it's a big part of like human sensuality and that life force energy in the sacral chakra and working with that through the body. And it, you know, of course it gets hijacked and other things, but also the body is so sensitive. The body is a very feeling entity, okay? It thrives off feeling and sensitivity. So the more experience you have in your life where you activate this part of yourself, the more experience in your life where you stimulate this part of yourself, massive transformations, massive healing and releases begin occurring, right? Because your body needs to feel those certain frequencies and states of itself. You know, your body is always in a process, an evolution, right? If you don't ever have a rest period, a flexible period, a restoration, a rejuvenation period, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna become so exhausted and spread so thin, you're not gonna have much to really give at a certain point. And then you're gonna look at yourself like you're the piece of shit, or like you're the broken thing, or you're the unwanted or unworthy thing that just needs to disappear because you have nothing to offer. But ultimately, you just burned yourself out. You had no compassion, you had no nurturing, you had no patience for yourself. You pushed and pushed yourself until you burnt out, and then you gaslit yourself and made yourself feel like a failure because now you're not doing anything, and it's not your fault that you didn't take care of yourself the right way. No one showed you how. But this is why we're going back through it again. So we can give that back to ourselves, learn how to heal, learn how to support ourselves properly in a better way. Not saying it's going to be a masterful, 100%, clean break. But definitely after what we've been through, we can carry ourselves a lot better now. We can nurture ourselves a little bit more. We can be way more patient and compassionate with ourselves, what we just been through the last year. Everyone can do that. Right? And that's for everyone to anchor that in and transform and embody that for themselves too. Okay? So we can all move forward in the experience. So I love all of you. Jenny, I hope you appreciate your tap in love. Any questions, again, just message in the chat or us afterwards. It's fine. We can get back to you. Oh, Brian was talking about, Brian and Jordan was talking about what happened to the Queen of Canada speech today. And then Jordan said she burned the Canadian flag. Can't believe nobody stopped her. But I think the media are having issues coming up with a believable way to associate her with the truckers because I haven't seen anything yet. I mean, why not? I mean, I feel at this point, you have to see the lunacy. That the fact that it would trigger people to react and freak out over a flag being burning. Like, for what? Is it someone's body on a fire? Is someone dying? Is someone bleeding out? How attached are we to our belief systems? How loyal are we to these over and generalized concepts that we actually don't exist in true reality? At that point, we're actually afraid to trigger people that way. Because it's stupid. It absolutely is dumb and retarded. To become so externally, emotionally responsive, reactive over something that's not even alive. It's a flag. And you know what further? It's a flag over some bullshit. All these countries' flags on lies. Why would you want to wave that flag high in the sky with the sun and the clouds and the birds every day knowing it's a lie? You want to wave that above your head every day? Showing that the lies are above you? That you're under the lies? That you're constantly under suppression from the lies? Don't you get all these things play into a bigger picture? People like to attach to material things. They like to give so much power and loyalty and commitment to material things, but they would never give it to themselves first. Now who's the hypocrite? Serving and worshiping material items, but not the human being that's actually doing it. That's dumb. Really dumb. And we're much more intelligent than that. We're way more intelligent, which is actually why I actually appreciate, what Queen Romana did. So she calls herself. I actually appreciate what she did. I really, really do appreciate that. The amount of effort it took for her to put herself out there, one, as a woman, calling herself, two, a queen of anything, a queen of Canada, is like, one, that's going to pull attention. It's gonna pull a lot of energies, and we know from our experience on mission, there's a lot of trolls that get attracted to the energy. They love to be the sideline critics. They love to throw energy and crap, but not actually be participants. They don't actually like to involve themselves. They just like to talk crap, right? So we've seen that through the years, how the human collective consciousness acts in the lower of the ego. And so, of course, just her doing that obviously put her out there with that energy, but also the thing that she shared. Important. What other person in Canada is getting out there on a stage with a megaphone, whatever you call those things, and sharing? Who is actually sharing the real stuff about the government? Who? I mean, you can sit at home all day and you can talk stuff by stuffing your hands in your bag of Cheetos and stuffing your face with it and think you're doing something, but meanwhile, she's out there with her shoes tied, she's got a pea coat on, and negative freezing degree weather, with her butt up there with truckers, a woman, and she's calling shit out. She's sharing what's real. And she doesn't care what people think about her. She doesn't care about all those snide remarks. She cares about the little memes that people and their little petty consciousness go around and we're going to make a little meme this and let's make this little, just to diminish her. How pathetic at that point. That we literally would vilify and we would attack our own kind that actually is taking a stand for us. It's actually standing up for us and speaking the truth that none of us actually have a lot of the balls to even get out there and say it for ourselves. But every time someone does it, like Trump, oops, I said that word, people want to get mad. People want to project and blame. And then when they get upset and cry wolf because it's not the things they want to hear, yet it's everything they've been asking clarity on. You don't get to ask for clarity and not listen to the answer. That's worse than a hypocrite. I don't even know why you're here. I don't even know why you're breathing on this planet. That's what you're doing. Because you truly don't want to get it. And I know everybody here on this planet does, because you wouldn't be here otherwise. Everyone who cannot be here right now is getting pulled off the planet. And again, that's nothing as a dig to those people. It's not a lower derogatory comment to those people. It's not a projection or a persecution to those people either. Those people have beautiful contracts. And even though they know they can't physically go through this reality further with us, they're suffering way too much. But what they can do is they can exit this reality right now, and they can pull as much density off this planet with them as they can to make less of a load for the rest of them that have to stay here, as less of a weight to carry for us. So it's nothing we owe them, but definitely that's respect. That's honor and gratitude. That every single person on this planet is playing a part in this ascension process, whether you realize it or not, even though it looks a certain way to you, every single thing is for a higher purpose and a higher divine plan. We're not left out. We're not abandoned by creation or God or the angels. And we are deeply loved and supported in more ways than you possibly can dream of. Getting there with the conscious awareness is another task, right? Which is why we have faith, which is why we have trust, why we have hope. Because even though why you can't see it, why it's not there in your hands, you can hold space for it with faith and trust and hope. And you can keep willing that into creation and manifest it. Everything is possible with love. Okay? I love every single last one of you. Enjoy your week. We will be back on Saturday around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Give or take moments. I'm not sure. It happens just organically. I try to say a certain time, and then almost every single time I end up not going at the same time. I go after. So maybe that's just a test not to control or not to be in like some kind of linear time frame schedule, right? So we just go with it. But Saturday, we'll be live again for Roadside Nuggets. Again, these topics are going to keep steamrolling into, yes, we're going to keep talking about cycles. We're going to keep talking about breaking them. We're going to keep talking about how to do that, because that's all what this month is massively, majorly themed as, okay? And if the main thing what you're going through and living through isn't important to you, isn't interesting to you, again, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but it can't be that important, right? So I love you all. I will do my best to go through my processes and help share with you everything as well. But you got to do your work. You got to do your part. You got to participate. You have to be self-accountable, self-responsible, do your own work, practices, disciplines. It does nothing watching a screen all day long. You don't evolve. You don't live. You don't expand. You don't heal and grow until you can show God and creations and all the angels looking down at you right now that you can do the same thing. And you can do it with love. Do it. And see how quickly everything starts changing for you. All right? I love you all. Take care. And we'll be back with you all tomorrow morning for a morning live stream. I feel it's with Buddha and Jerry. So, we don't know. It'll be a wild card. We'll have to see. I feel so. But I love you. Have a beautiful night.